When Aristotle talked about the most useless pursuits being the most noble, somehow I don't think he had Facebook in mind. The problems that drive our moral shortcomings are not metaphysical and require no metaphysics to understand. We need to answer these questions not just for ourselves. Not anymore. Some of this stuff really is as simple as it seems. We are fast approaching a time in which we will need to be able to interpret or project information into non-human interpretative contexts. Some of these questions are already looming and already posing very, very practical necessity. Why do people act the way they do? Well, a lot of that question, or a lot of the instances in which that question gets asked, can be answered very, very simply. Because other people are less real to them, are less intrinsic to their experience than their experience of themselves. I think we all know that. I think we all figured that out at some point in our lives, probably shortly after walking. System models are increasingly defined by how they represent the transfer of chemical information within a given ecosystem. We're talking about biology more and more in terms of the logos. That explanation does not, in its own right, present a solution. The question of how to cover the methodological gaps in artificial intelligence are ever looming. You know, the difference between what happens when we look at a chessboard and when a computer, quote, looks at one. Covered that a lot in the game series and The Long Night. This is to say nothing of the more immediately and widely applicable benefits in different models and more flexible models for engaging with and explaining our experiences and how they relate to other experiences. There are many reasons why we indulge in increasingly elaborate evasions of the simple questions. It doesn't tell us how to go about solving the problem, and so we don't particularly like that answer and ask the question until we get an answer that we like. To understand all is to forgive all, and that applies here as well. Our own folly in this is no less forgivable. Personally, I think part of our approach to philosophy, especially in its more practical aspects, is driven by our preference for pattern and the laziness that it affords us. We would love it if our understanding of the motions of material bodies lent us immediate insight into the motions of non-material ones, like emotional events. We're coming to a convergence of multiple crisis points that requires of us a model, a representation, a dialogue on intelligence that is simultaneously more appreciative of and less reliant on our human intuitions. There's a lot of work to be done, and not for its own sake, and not just for ourselves. I, for one, look forward to being regarded as a transitional fossil, if at all. Our world is inside out.